A warm welcome to you. This is Platform on the network service of the NTA. I'm Ruth Aguela. Nigeria's democratic journey has reached another milestone following the nation's preparedness to a new dispensation. It is that time in the nation's history where the dividends of democracy will be demonstrated again, as the nation counts down to May 29th inauguration ceremony. No doubt, 24 years of unbroken democracy is a historic legacy indeed in the democratization process of the country. Well, as the nation counts down to May 29th, there are usually lined up activities scheduled to take place as a build-up to handing over ceremony that will herald a new administration. The upcoming event is significant now, not only to Nigeria, but also to the international community, particularly Africa, because of the democratic values and lessons in nationhood. The theme for the 2023 transition is Nigeria Better Together. And this is going to be Nigeria's 7th consecutive democratic transition. Already, the Presidential Transition Committee, or Council rather, says plans are on course for a smooth and peaceful handover of power from President Muhammadu Buhari to the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The schedule of activities marking the 2023 presidential inauguration have been unveiled, and we've seen part of the activities unveiled from the 18th of May. And on Platform today, we'll be looking at Nigeria's democratic transition, and our guest is Aderonke Ogunleye Bello. She's a member, Media and Publicity Subcommittee, Presidential Transition Council. Thank you very much for joining us, Madam Ronke.
Thank you so much for having me, Ruth.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure too. Thank you.
All right, let's take you through a bit of her profile just before we bring in our panelists. Aderonke Ogunleye Bello is an international and multiple award-winning investigative journalist, social worker, administrator, a graduate of peace studies and conflict resolution with career spanning over 16 years. She has actively participated in the world of sports both locally and internationally, and has worked as a reporter at different reputable print media. Aderonke is a peace advocate and gender rights activist. While outside the shores of Nigeria, she has worked for the TRT World, Turkey, now Turkey, Sports Integrity, Ireland, Play the Game, Denmark. In 2018, based on her advocacy and passion for women and girls, she was specially invited by FIFA to participate in the Women's Football Convention in France. She is an alumna of the Global Sports Mentoring Program, an exchange program by the U.S. Department of State. Aderonke is a fellow of the Global Investigative Journalism Network, New York. She was appointed to serve as representative and member of the federal government team on the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. She has won several awards in diverse fields and has volunteered at UNAIDS, UNICEF, UN Women, UNDP, you name it. In 2017, she founded FAME Foundation, an award-winning non-profit organization set up to formulate sustainable programs for women and girls in Nigeria, and has directly impacted more than 10,000 women and girls and indirectly impacted more than 22,000 Nigerians. She's a member of the Media and Publicity Committee, Tinubu Shetima Presidential Campaign Council, that was before the elections, and now she's a member of the Subcommittee for Media and Publicity Presidential Transition Council. Thank you once again for joining us on Platform. We're really pleased to have you here, and I know we have so much to talk about,
of course,
especially looking at the whole process of the transition. All right.
Absolutely.
Mitari Ikpen is our correspondent here in NTA, and he's on the panel today. Mitari, welcome to Platform.
It's good to be here. Many thanks for having me, Ruth.
My pleasure. All right, May 29th is just around the corner.
Of course.
Few days, should I say, less than how many hours to go, but you tell us. I know a lot of preparations have gone into, to see that it's seamless, it's a smooth transition, which is what we should all hope for as a nation, who wants to reap the dividends of democracy. So tell us, what is the level of preparedness as we prepare for May 29th?
Okay, so at the PTC, I would say PTC allowed me to say that's the Presidential Transition Council. Everything is going on well, smoothly, and we've started activities. Recall that the Secretary General to the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, read out the program of events for the 2023 presidential inauguration, and it has started. It has commenced. We've had a regimental dinner for the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. President Buhari was in attendance, so it's also part of the program that we set out for the inauguration activities. Also, we had the valedictory FEC, that is the Federal Executive Council. It's over. And it's sad, but it's just the reality that everything with a beginning must have an end. So it's also held that yesterday, Wednesday, at the council chambers as usual. And earlier today in the morning, we had the investiture for the president-elect and the vice president-elect. They've been, honored with the GCFR and the GCON respectively, and we're so excited. And also, the transition documents were officially handed over to both of them today at the State Banquet Hall. And we're so excited about it, and so everything is going on well. We have other programs also lined up that will carry out in this inauguration, and I'm looking forward to it personally, and we're all looking forward to it. So the PTC as a team, we are working together. It's a teamwork. Yes. No one is an island, and the SGF office has done so well in we have different subcommittees in separating everybody. Everyone has their own role, and headed by competent hands, competent members, putting hands on deck. To ensure that there is a free, secured, and also a successful transition process. So everything is on course. If you ask me, that we're working. Okay,
if I would come in, you talked about the investiture,
yes,
which was done on the president-elect and the vice president-elect. In terms of protocol and order, why is it coming, say, days to the inauguration concerning the investiture?
Okay, so I think that is the lineup of what we have this year. We have to look at what is convenient for the council to do. So we can't put it after. It has to be before. Because after May 29, they have to get to work. We don't have to start doing this. So without the transition document at hand, you don't know what you are going into. The respective agencies, ministries, and all of that have handed over, and doing they have the document that will help them, that will guide them into going into office. So the investiture and the handing over, it's very crucial, it's very important. So which is why it has to be done before the inauguration. After inauguration, you have a document at hand to work with, which is the transition document.
Okay, with that explained, what would you say is significantly different in terms of preparation and planning for the transition from what used to obtain in the past, and now that we have a full-fledged presidential transition council in place? What would you say is different this time around in terms of planning and preparation?
I don't think anything different has happened. It's a Nigerian thing. It's our style, it's our system, and I believe that. And it's also statutory, if you ask me. So there are things that should be done according to the constitution, according to the statute. So I don't think anything different has happened. Whatever program that is being put together, it is in line with what is supposed to be done.
Okay, because I asked that question because in the past we didn't have what we have now, a presidential transition council. But President Buhari signed Executive Order 14, which established the presidential transition council. So in terms of planning, I know that the council had to, interface with countries like the US and Kenya to get international best practice. So what is different about this transition process this time around?
If you ask me, I think it's more of, we have more activities this time. If you ask me, we have more activities.
And what about coordination, in terms of coordination?
Yeah, in terms of coordination, as a journalist, I've seen transition. Of course, I was reporting 8 years ago in the newsroom, and if you ask me, it's just, we have more activities now compared to what we've had in the past, and they are not just jamboree, they are not wasted effort, they are needed. And as we grow, yes, in democracy, we get better. Yeah. Okay, maybe in the past, we've not been able to put this into what we've done in the process of the transition. But now, can we insert this to get it better for more inclusion and also for more for effective processes. So I think that if I will answer that question, I will think that we're getting better, then we're adding more activities to improve to make it seamless.
Okay, and the SGF, that's the chairman of the PTC, when he was reading out the press statement, he talked about institutionalizing the transition process through legislation somewhat to make it more, to give it a solid foundation for subsequent, future transition exercise. And this will be Nigeria's 7th, consecutive democratic transition. What does this say to us as a nation?
I think we are, like I said earlier, we're getting there, we're getting better, it's improving. And we've had our issues in terms of during the election, during the campaigns, there are so many conflicts, not physical per se, but it has drawn some bile, some anger, which is, I think, somewhere in democracy, it's not something you can say it's strange. It's everywhere. Democracy comes with that. But then I think that democracy is here to stay in Nigeria. It's going nowhere, and I don't want to say anything bad about Nigeria, but I can still say to you that it's there to stay, and I believe that with time we'll get better with looking at the constitution and what they are putting in place, and looking at the fact that we can learn. Politicians can come, you don't just come back after 4 years to campaign and you just want to go to office. And what about the process, what about the constitution, what about the institutions, how do we get better? So Nigeria is getting better, if you ask me, compared to what we had 20 years ago. People are more interested in democracy, there are more due processes, people are more interested in even the process of the election, the voting, the campaign and all of that. So it's getting better. And
it's good you mentioned better, because that's actually coined in the theme for this year's transition, Nigeria Better Together. I'm just wondering in my head, in as much as it's, very explanatory, Nigeria Better Together, what was playing in the minds of the PTC when they came up with that thing?
Okay, so this was high level from the main PTC, and we were told this was the logo. But if you ask me, during the election there was a lot of conflict. Like I said earlier, you accept that so much ethnic fights, religious and all of that, and the elections are over, campaigns are over. I think everybody should just go back to default, let's go back to being Nigeria now. We should stop being a supporter of party A, supporter of party B, party C. Now we have a president-elect. The elections, campaigns and all of that should be over. I don't think that should cause anybody to keeping malice, grudges and all of that. Now that the electioneering process is over, can we now come back and be better together? Let us drop our anger, let's drop out the tribal wars, anger, the religious discrimination and all of that. It is what it is right now. We have a president-elect. Can we now come together as a team and just, fly the flag of Nigeria?
And of course, there has been growing advocacy for healing and reconciliation after what you called quite a conflict-ridden electioneering process. How would you expect the incoming administration to handle this in terms of promoting unity, uniting Nigerians, and going about the reconciliation process?
It has started with the theme of this year, Better Together. Nigeria Better Together. Together we are stronger. We can't be divided. So, but for the administration, there's a whole lot of work to be done in terms of that, repairing already bad relationships and all of that. Then I'm not here to advise the incoming administration. It's more than me to advise them, but I definitely can tell you and I can show you that there will be something like that in terms of calling people to talking to relevant stakeholders, to go down to the grassroots, not about the city center and all of that. Relevant leaders of association, of groups, of communities, of religious organizations, to see how they can now go back to people and talk to them. Let them know that, okay, we can do this, and divided we can't move forward, but together we can. So I believe so much in this administration, and I'm so optimistic that there will be things, there will be measures put in place to repair broken or damaged relationships.
Okay, and of course, when we talk about governance that is inclusive, you know, it advances democratic values anywhere in the world. And we've seen, well, there were speculations actually that was played out in terms of inclusivity for the members from the president-elect and the vice president-elect team added to the PTC. We saw the gender balance, but you want to tell us about that because you're a woman and you're part of it. So what's the gender balance like? What does that project if we want to look at this incoming administration in terms of creating that room for inclusivity?
Okay, campaigns are over, so but I can still say some things about the president-elect.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so president-elect is a believer in women. He has the antecedents, his history, and what he's been able to do in the past. There are facts there that he has empowered, he has lifted more women in Nigeria than any governor ever. You can just check that if you're not sure. So
you're quoted. So
yeah, of course. And I'm one person that believes so much in his ability, his capability, and he believes in women. He knows that if given the chance, they will do much and they will do better. And again, he has mentored a whole lot of young women that are now grown, doing well in their respective field. So now talking about the affirmative action, 35%. It did not start in the PTC. It started from the PCC. That's the Tinubu Shetima Presidential Campaign Council, which I belong to. Yeah, I'm a member. And we had more than 35% representation, I can tell you that for a fact. And it's really encouraging for someone like me, as a young woman, that even if I don't get elected, if I don't get appointed, I know women will really come out. And not just women, competent hands. We don't want to say, okay, we want women, just because we want women. There are every woman with their own strengths. We don't just want a woman because we know her, because she works, contributed to the campaign, but competent and people that can really do this, because we need to deliver. Yeah. We have a mandate that has to be delivered, so we're not going to be sentimental about just putting people into positions of leadership. Not just that, but they have to be competent. And luckily, the president-elect knows how to identify talent. And I believe right now he has this talent that people that he's going to work with, and women will get that 35%, if not more. Quote me again.
Okay. if I will come in at this point, we are having a seamless transition process coordinated by the Presidential Transition Council established by President Muhammadu Buhari. What does this say about the commitment of Nigerian leaders to peaceful transfer of power, especially against the background of what we see in other African countries around us?
Okay, so can you take that question again?
Yes, we are having a seamless transfer of power. So what does this say about the commitment of Nigerian leaders to democratic values on the African continent, especially considering the fact that elsewhere around the continent we hear of military coups and all of that?
More like setting agenda for other African countries, you know, to follow suit.
Okay, but Nigeria always set agenda. If Nigeria works, I can assure you that 85% of Africa, other part of Africa will work and all that. So I think we are setting a precedence. I think that it has never been a problem handing over. I think since the history of democracy in Nigeria, if I stand to be corrected, I don't think it has ever been a problem. As we saw what happened the last time that Goodluck Jonathan, a former Nigerian president, put a phone call through to President Muhammadu Buhari to congratulate him. Although it's not happening now, I believe that it will happen later. So it is not, I don't think anything is wrong. In as much as some people are not happy, which I think is normal. You cannot lose an election and be happy. It is expected for people not to be happy that they lost. So it is reality that we have a president-elect. It's a reality that we're going to have a new president in the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and there's nothing anybody can do about it aside the tribunal. So what I'm trying to say now is that it is seamless. The program is going on well, no threat from anywhere, any quarters, even no protests, nobody's saying anything, as much as we have some people on social media saying things just because their candidate lost. Does not mean that we are not setting. I think we are doing well. Ask me, I'll tell you we are doing well. I think it's fine. We had an election, there's a PTC in place, there's a transition process in place, programs are going on. The president-elect and his vice are getting ready to come to power. President Buhari is willing to hand over power. He's not saying he wants to sit tight. The army are not making any any plan to take over the government. I think it's good for us, unlike what we've had last year and some years ago in some other African countries. So it's a good process for us. I'm proud, and I think it's good.
So how does this process boost the confidence of citizens on democracy and good governance?
Every Nigerian should be happy with this. I'm particularly proud of President Muhammadu Buhari for putting this PTC in place. I'm particularly proud of the SGF for ensuring that the right things are done, because I'm part of this PTC and I know how much they always say to us that please ensure everything is fine. Ask questions, and it's not because I'm on media and publicity committee. You can also check on other committees to see if you can support. So it's a teamwork. There's synergy. There's synergy, and if there's synergy, you can't get it wrong. And you have to say kudos to the leadership. So I don't think anything is wrong in terms of that, if you ask me, but I feel the SGF is doing well, the PTC is doing well, everything is going on fine.
Okay, I like the fact you talked about the synergy going on among the committees. You are part of the Media and Publicity Subcommittee, so you should be able to give us, snippets of what's happening in the Security Subcommittee. Everybody wants to be safe, attending that event, and we're expecting high delegations from across the world.
Yes.
So what's the preparedness for security?
Although I'm not a security expert,
I know.
but I can tell you that every committee has a security personnel attached to them. So whenever we're having our meetings, there is always at least one security personnel at the on the committee. I can remember that I think we have a DSS person, a DSS man on our committee. And there are other security men that also come there. Although they are not in the main committee, they attend our meetings. And they are like that across the committees.
I'm talking about for the May 29.
Yeah, I'm going there. I'm trying to tell you the process.
Okay, go ahead.
So they have security people and they give reports. So each of these committee personnel, when they come for meetings, they hear what we have to say. And we also tell them, for example, we are journalists, and the media say, okay, we don't want the security people to push us, you can't go there and all. So we take this message, the security personnel on the team take the message back to the office
Which
to report.
we always see play out on events like that. I have experienced it, and
You are NTA.
but getting into the venue of Eagle Square can be really, really,
Yes. So during the regimental dinner, the security was really tight and all of that. Can you imagine, like, even accredited journalists were asked to step aside and all of that? So I know what you're talking about in terms of security, and we've had reports. We've had, I believe the DSS, the intelligence guys are working. While I was coming here, I saw air jets and all that flying around, and they're working. And based on the reports we get, if you ask me about security, although I don't speak for them, I'm talking based on what I'm able to get from the meeting, is that these guys are working. They are put everything in place. I don't know if you're able to see a circular. There's a circular that came out last week that this Eagle Square will be condoned off from Friday.
Federal Secretariat.
Yes, will be condoned. It's still all security measures and all that. And if you are not accredited, you are advised not to come closer to the place. And the town is safe as well. I believe there are security personnel, the intelligence going around, to ensure there is peace, there is stability, there is security, and the lives of residents are also secured as well. So if you ask me about security, we got this.
So the Eagle Square will be heavily secured.
It has to be, because
on May 29th, yes. And journalists will need to come there to cover the event. So in terms of transportation, what are your preparations to ensure that transportation is seamless in terms of movement around?
Okay, I can tell you that. I can tell you as a matter of fact, this is official. I'm not guessing. So this is official that there's a report from the transport committee, transport subcommittee, that every accredited person must come to Old Parade Ground. Okay. From there will be buses, hundreds of buses as early as 6:30.
Okay.
To the Old Parade Ground. If you are accredited, you come to the place. Buses will move from there. Even accredited VIPs, everybody comes to Old Parade Ground to join the bus. Those are the buses that are recognized to enter. Not even enter, to move closer to designated drop-off point for you to walk into the Eagle Square.
So invariably private vehicles will have no access?
No.
What about branded media vehicles?
No.
Okay.
Except maybe the ones that will be broadcasting live arrangements, that are already in place for them with the security, to where they will put their Obi
Yeah.
Vance. So there are places that the security will say, so that you will not quote me. So there is security that where the Obi Vance will be placed as well. That is also planned out. The security are aware of this. They will allow them to put them. But to enter, to have access to the Eagle Square, if you are accredited, you have to come to Old Parade Ground. Both VIPs, both VIP, whoever you are, so far you are accredited or you have your invite, no cars are allowed to move around there.
So we're going to be having live transmission of these events. What impact, as a member of the Media and Publicity Subcommittee, what impact will this be having on the generality of Nigerians and the integrity of Nigeria as a nation?
You know, it's exciting that a new president is coming. Everybody wants to see it. You can go to Abuja town, you can see the pictures everywhere of it is exactly, it's a party, it is merry time for us to know that we are bringing a new president. So Nigerians everybody would want to watch, that's the truth. Even people in villages, they will look for every means to watch it and all that. Those people that don't have time can watch live online. NTA will show it live online aside on TV. So I know that it's exactly, it's party time, it's merry time. It's time for people. Nigerians should just, buy refreshments, get drinks, juice, cook food like a party, and just host people.
I don't care. I could feel the excitement bubbling from you.
Yeah.
And yes, in as much as it's the day to be merry for a new dispensation, a new era.
Yeah.
Nigerians still have their expectations deep down.
Yes, like after the merry, then we can go to work. Let us party, let us welcome our new president with so much joy, with excitement, hoping for the best, with optimism, with positivity. Let us believe that it's coming to work. And I can assure Nigerians that President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu will deliver. He will deliver. Nigerians will enjoy dividends of democracy and good governance. So it is time to just relax and just expect for the goodness that is coming from the new administration. So I want to say that on May 29th, try and just get some food and just entertain yourself while you watch on TV.
Okay, I hope you'll be sponsoring that. All right, but what kind of support, is the PTC getting from institutions, private, other government bodies, because the SGF talked about cooperation, in all areas. What's the level of support?
Yeah, I think to a large extent, I can talk about the Media and Publicity Subcommittee, that we have the support of private organizations, private-owned media houses. We've had meetings with them. They've been to our meeting place, and they've given us their support. They've given us their awards. And looking at the programs that we've had since the beginning of the presidential inauguration processes, they've supported us a lot. And so private-owned media houses are supporting us. And for the other committees, I believe also that some are also coming out to support. I'm aware that some people donated some flyers that could be shared. Some people are going to bring flags and all that. So it's a collaborative work, and we're enjoying the private sector support, especially in the Media and Publicity Committee.
So would you say the PTC has come to stay? Because I recall that the SGF was saying that there may be need for a law to back up the establishment of the PTC, different from the executive order which the president signed. So would you say the PTC has come to stay as an institution?
I think it has come to stay. I think it should stay as well. It makes sense. It's easy. It's seamless. It makes everything look so nice. And without any we've had 3 programs now, and there's no single complaint anywhere, because there's a PTC in place, because there's a council, there are committees working in place. So it should stay. If you ask me to share.
All right, we'll pause with this conversation. We have to take this break, and you have to stay tuned.
Buhari-led administration has made remarkable progress,
like Lafia Transmission Station nearing completion.
Africa does not need charity, but partnerships that will promote the adequate investment
with the cooperation of all.
Sharing firsthand the experiences of reporters on the field as they bring to you weekly the beauty of Nigeria's diverse culture and the economic potentials therein. The Correspondents, Development through the eye of the grassroots. Showing every Monday at 1:30 p.m. on the network service of the NTA, with a repeat broadcast on NTA News 24 and NTA International. Join us.
Allow these children to grow.
Yes.
Many of them, you have somebody 14, 15 going to the university. Where are you going?
Information technology is the future.
Hello, and welcome to you. This is Platform. I'm Ruth Aguela.
If you don't create that awareness and you don't bring the young minds to identify that there are benefits in astronomy.
We have had experiences through various leadership strata, bringing us to where we can
Platform engages guests on topical issues for national interest.
We have cases like that. We want to protect children and also make parents realize that they have a primary responsibility.
Join us every Thursday at 2 p.m. on the network service of the NTA.
Thanks for being there. We're still discussing Nigeria's democratic transition, and Adoronke has been filling us in on all the activities lined up. I'm sure there is a schedule of activities still left before May 29. So you want to just go into that?
Yeah, we have the dinner
for Friday, Saturday, and
Friday,
Sunday.
Yeah, for Friday, Saturday. On Friday, we have the national prayer at the National Mosque. Saturday is the inaugural lecture at the International Conference Center, and on Sunday, national prayer again at the Ecumenical Center. Monday is the D-Day, and in the evening there's also going to be a dinner. Oh yes, I skipped May 29, Children's Day.
Sorry,
May 27.
Sorry, I beg your pardon. May 27, Children's Day activities that will be happening on Saturday as well. They'll be happening at the State House, hosted by Madam Aisha Buhari as well. So, yeah.
There's also one at Old Parade Ground in the morning. Am I correct?
Yes, one in the morning at the Old Parade Ground. In the afternoon, they will move over to the State House, where she will host, because she will not be attending the one in the Old Parade Ground, but she will be at home hosting the children.
You know, as you were just talking earlier, and I'm seeing your excitement. Looking forward. I want to believe it's been a Herculean task, coming up with all of this. Can you share with us some of the challenges the PTC encountered while getting to this stage?
Yes, at first it was not easy, bringing people together. At first you have to argue out things. Okay, I'll not say argue, disagree on. Okay,
disagree to agree.
Disagree to agree. People with different options, people with different opinions and suggestions, observations, and you just have to now streamline it and find a way to meet each other in the middle for the greater good of a project you're working on. And I think the chairperson also of my own subcommittee is quite she's a PAMSEC of the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, and she's quite knowledgeable, and she's emotionally intelligent. She was able to balance everything out, and aside that, I think everything is fine, because kudos, like I said again, to the OSGF for doing a good job of putting capable and competent hands together to ensure everything is running smoothly. So aside that, of difference in opinions, which at the end of the day we sorted, and look at everything is going on well, not a single complaint.
Okay, so we're talking about 24 years of unbroken democracy in Nigeria, and it's the 7th transition of power from one administration to the other in our democratic journey. What does this say about our democracy, and what can other African nations learn from Nigeria?
They should learn about the power of consistency, the power of togetherness, and I also want to commend the armed forces as well for being good, for being cooperating with us as well. In as much as democracy, we believe democracy is here to stay, there has not been any mischief. That we've not read about any mischief anywhere, that some people are trying to do something funny like we've seen in other countries. So other African countries can learn. What can they learn from us? They can learn the power of the fact that we're intentional. Nigerian democracy is intentional. It's not easy because of our differences. Nigeria is heterogeneous in nature, and democracy I can tell you it's not a level. I cannot help the peculiar nature of our country in terms of diversity, tribes, languages, religion, and all of that. Despite this, despite this diversity, yes, of course. Despite this, we are able to come out strong and have a democracy that has been sustainable so far. And I don't think anything is going to happen. It's not going anywhere. We can agree to disagree. We can have differences in terms of our even party affiliation and all that, even supporting different candidates. At the end of the day, we'll meet in the middle and come together as one Nigeria. So other African countries should come to learn this from us.
And it's good you mentioned one Nigeria, because the role of citizens is very critical. Citizens' participation. I know that when it comes to the transition exercise, citizens also have a role to play in terms of coordination and all of that. What is expected of the citizens? I know the security forces have been saying, if you don't have any business around Eagle Square, don't go near. But tell us what the PTC expect from the citizens.
For the May 29th,
yes.
Okay, so you should just stay at home and watch it. If you don't have like a TV, you can just use the data to watch live. And I would advise people to just stay. If I'm not participating, I'll be in my house watching on TV. If you don't have a TV, you can get a radio to listen. Citizens should please, especially Abuja residents, should just stay back home. Okay, yes, of course, we're having migration in other states as well.
Yeah.
So if you don't have any business around it, just stay in your house. If you have to go to work, stay at work and just do what you have to do. Stay out of trouble, enjoy the moment, because everybody is responsible for good governance in one way or the other. So if you follow rules and regulations, if you follow there are rules on ground that don't come out on, so they do not come near Eagle Square, do not come near Tafawa Balewa Square and all of that, then stay away.
Just before Mitari comes in, I know he wants to ask a follow-up question. This plays a lot when it comes to patriotism, when citizens, play their roles. And we've seen that played out these past elections. We saw citizens' participation, active participation. What does this say to you as a person, as a journalist, from your observation in terms of Nigerians being patriotic, in terms of following the democratic process?
Yeah, I think Nigerians are. I've never seen this last election. I've never seen the number of supports. I don't think we've ever had people come out to show so much interest in Nigeria election like this particular one. I stand to be corrected.
Yeah,
it's so popular. It's like some World Cup game. Like everywhere, people are talking about the elections. People that even have no idea about politics or whatever it is, they just want to know what's going on, what's happening and all that. So if I should answer your question correctly, I think we are more informed, Nigerians are more aware, and I think we should keep it that way. But we should be positive, and we should not be violent. We should just not be violent about it. You don't have to bully people, you don't have to be insultive. You can make your point by being constructive. You can be a good Nigerian, you can contribute to this process. It is not because a president cannot do it alone. It's not from you and me. So how we act is also contributing. So if we're not acting well, it is still not good for us as a nation. But if you act well, it is also contributing to greater and better Nigeria.
Okay, I recall the PTC chairman, Boss Mustafa, asking states to replicate the transition council in their own state. Now, in the course of your work in the council, have you been providing expertise to some of the states? Are there states that have reached out to you to say, okay, we want to learn one or two things from what you are doing at the federal level?
I think some members of some committee members, some subcommittee members belong to states transition processes. So I think it's a lot of people. I don't belong to, because my state had elections last year. So, but some people I'm aware they also belong there. So they can always take the lessons they learned from here to apply it at the state level. Aside that, I don't know of any that seek for. I believe that governors would have hired or appointed capable hands to support them in the transition processes in the states.
Okay, going back to the theme for this transition, better together. How does the transition process prove that the interest and unity of Nigeria is above sectional interest?
Okay, so we have a lot of jingles playing around across the country. It has been translated into local languages, preaching messages of unity. We have also Kudos NTA as well. They have some very lovely documentaries, short play, drama that are out there preaching messages. And like I said earlier, that we also have private sector, that's private owned media houses are also with us, pushing out these messages of, we are better together as well. So it's running, we are doing it, and the best way to bring out your message, pass your message across, is through the media. And also different government agencies that I'm aware of, even media houses, Nigerians are via their social media accounts posting out this video, these jingles, sharing the messages across WhatsApp platforms and all of that. So we have it together through video, visual. We have audio jingles also that is all over the place. We also have flyers, like I said earlier on. Some people we also have flyers that we're sharing, and also as we speak, I don't know if you receive SMS from PTC going to Nigerians on their phone talking about the importance of unity, peace, living in peace, and all of that. So we have bulk SMS, like almost every morning, goes to people's phone. Yes.
Ruth, if you permit me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Many people usually look forward to the new president's inaugural address, as it sets the tone for the direction of his administration. So as a journalist, what would you expect? What should Nigerians expect?
It reminds me of we're not
preempting, but we just wanted to speak as a journalist.
Okay, if you ask me, the body language that I'm getting from President-elect is going to be in Nigeria for all that is working. I don't know, I'm not saying the speech, but I'm thinking that it should be okay, so let me just think based on I followed the campaign, I followed the manifesto, I followed all these.
You were active.
I know, because I'm very passionate, especially because, okay, so I'm saying this as a matter of fact that I believe so much in our president-elect, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because he believes so much in women, he empowers women, and while you're doing anything, it goes like, women here and all that. He wants it to be equal. Even if it's not equal, we must achieve that 35%. And I kid you not, it's the truth. So I'm like, it is really rare to see, a leader that wants a lot of women on his cabinet, that want to work with women, competent women, to lead and, take initiatives and all that. So I am saying this, that I'm looking at a Nigeria working for all. A better Nigeria working for everybody. So I think so.
Okay, just to sum it up, renewed hope, which is actually the mandate.
Of course,
and not just for gender balance. Also, what about for persons with disability? That's been called, for the incoming administration to also include persons with disability in governance. And if we're looking at inclusivity, I mentioned earlier, it advances the course for democratic values.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts?
My thought is that, from experience working on the Presidential Campaign Council, I can tell you that we worked with the people with disabilities a lot. They had their own committees set out, recognized, supported, empowered, that reached out to their own, to their constituency as well, their members. And also, kudos to INEC for also ensuring that even someone that is visually impaired can vote.
Yes.
Person that's with, so there was support.
We had it better this time.
Yeah, this time around.
Yes,
So it's a good start. And looking at us in our PCC, we have them also that also were supported and implemented, empowered. They were involved even in campaigns. There's no APC campaign you go to that you not see them somewhere. People with disabilities. So we don't just go alone with her. These special people also were part of campaigns. And I can assure you right now that during the PTC process and all that, they are also part of the decision, making process as well. So it is nothing like, it's a Nigeria that is going to work for everybody, regardless of what you look like, regardless of where you're from, what language you speak, what religion you practice. It's going to be a Nigeria that works for all under Tinubu Shetima.
Okay, the PTC chairman has said that the transition process is sacrosanct. The transition date of May 29th is sacrosanct, despite ongoing litigations. Why what is your message to Nigerians in terms of supporting the transition process and making it our transition and not their transition?
Okay, so
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
As a Nigerian, I can say to you that the SGF has said everything at the World Press Conference, so I'm not going to repeat what he said. But he said that, I quote, that it's going to happen. So because someone asked a question, if May 29th will happen, and we're like, are you sure this inauguration will take place? Looking at the stories we're reading on social media, he said that no, it's going to happen. May 29th, we're going to inaugurate the new administration. So, and I want to say to Nigerians to believe and have faith. The elections are over. We have a president-elect, and we have a new president coming. We have a new administration coming on board. Yeah. They should come together to support, stop the crosses, stop the insult, the abuses. It's our Nigeria. It is what you pronounce in the country. Say positive things, be positive, regardless of what happened. Of course, if you lose an election, you'll be pained. But don't let the pain transfer to bitterness and anger. May 29th is here. Elections are over. Inauguration will happen. So nothing is going to stop it by God's grace. I mean, I just don't know why people don't want to embrace reality. This is the reality. The reality is that we're going to have a new president. So they should just embrace, like I said earlier on, you should just let us embrace it and wish the incoming administration all the best. Because it is what it is the reality. A new administration is coming. So Nigeria should please embrace the small quarters that are not happy because their candidates did not win, should come to reality. We are going to have a new administration from May 29, 2023. That's the reality. So Nigerians, please work with us, wish us well, be positive, be optimistic, and wish yourself the best in the new administration.
They don't care. I like your spirit. That's the spirit of a Nigerian. We're resilient when it comes to standing for what we truly believe in, and that is actually the whole essence of this in terms of projecting good governance. Yeah. It's summary now because we're winding down this conversation. What's the picture of a good governance when we are looking at this new dispensation, when Nigerians are crying out, oh, we want this, we want that? What is your picture of a democracy that is working for the people and by the people?
So it's my picture of what's going to happen, especially this incoming administration, is that it's going to be inclusive. It's going to be an inclusive, very open, transparent, accountable, and 100% effective. President Muhammadu Buhari has tried his best. From where he stopped, I believe the new administration will continue. What he was unable to do, we'll get it better. Maybe some things will have been done. We need to review them. They will be reviewed. Look, from electricity, employment, very key. Because when there is light, a whole lot of manufacturers, industries will come back to life. When youth are employed, even SMEs, people with the businesses as well, are also supported with maybe grants, loans. I'm not speaking for the president-elect, but I'm telling you based on what I'm able to pick from the campaigns, the promises, the manifesto, the mandate. There are so many things for them. Even persons with disabilities, women, even general well-being. I'm talking about health, hospitals, healthcare, and all of that. Our economy will both end. Our economy will get better as well. So it is a better day. Better days are ahead for Nigeria under the new administration. So, like I said, and I'm saying it again, Nigerians should please keep an open mind and be positive and optimistic. They will not regret it.
Matari, I know you have a question, but we're out of time.
Sorry.
I wanted to ask.
We're out of time. Okay. If she will answer that in a few seconds.
Yes, I wanted to ask if you would just let us into the dignitaries that will be coming around. I know Nigeria is the biggest black nation.
Yeah, some of the heads
a lot of countries
states
will be interested in our transition process.
Yeah, we have dignitaries coming, and we just have an example. For example, some days ago, the U.S. President just rolled out a 9-member delegation that will be coming. That's just to show you that a whole lot of them, 9, not 2, not 3. That is huge. So many more are coming as well. And I'm not permitted to say it, but I can tell you we're going to have not less than 40 head of state or their delegation.
Thank you so much, Aderonke Ogunleye Bello. It's been a pleasure having you on platform, and we wish you the very best. We want to see a seamless transition process happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's already happening.
We've had 3 great events, seamless, without any drama, any stress.
So we look forward to the D-Day.
The rest, the D-Day will also be successful. Then they are going to have a new president.
We should leave it there. I know you're passionate about it. Thank you very much, Mitari, for your time on platform. We do appreciate that.
It's my pleasure, Ruth.
All right, and we've been discussing Nigeria's democratic transition. A whole lot we're putting our eyes on the prize because Nigeria's democratic journey, you agree with me, has come of age. 24 years of unbroken democracy. We have to stay together to be formidable for the rest of the world to admire Nigeria. I'm Ruth Aguwele, and that's Platform. Bye.